the once appearing Moose is now no longer.
It was a bit of a shock to the system in the interest of transparency. I don't know that we really ever did we fully believe that he was 100% committed, especially when he won the belt. Like, I don't know.
No, Hassan's the big one. The first time down in Cork, it's a big name to bring out of Cork and bring the OCW for the first time. As Bedlam here has said, you know, there's Good Friday is the biggest show of the year. It's around the corner. We do have some big things planned, don't we, Betsy?
Huge. So one match that hasn't been announced publicly, Bearded Beauties are putting their tag team belts on the line against teams of...
What is going on, everybody? I am Martin from the FiveMarks. Today we are joined by Mr. Carmo. Nobody else special, just Carmo. How are we doing, Carmo?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another week.
This is a very weird intro because I didn't know how to actually intro it like FiveMarks Podcast. We are just FiveMarks. But today we are sitting down with former RCW General Manager, Mr. Billy Bedlam, and the current interim RCW General Manager, CBL.
How you doing, lads? Thanks for having us.
Story.
It has been a busy week for you guys, hasn't it?
Been a busy couple of weeks, to be fair. Flat out. Yeah.
I feel like the first place to kind of start here is Moose.
WrestleMania.
Who's going to Mania?
Is Mr. Charlie going to finish the story? That's what everybody wants to know. You know what I mean?
Fingers crossed.
Where is he? Where is he? And is he going to
It's
finish
in
the
the
story?
box.
And what happened to him? You know, that's what everyone. That's what the talk of the street in Cork is. Is Mr. Charlie going to be at WrestleMania? You know.
He just has Damian Priest Money in the Bank contract inside the box. He's ready to pull it out come WrestleMania. He's ready to jump into the ring.
There you go. Never say never in wrestling. You know what I mean?
Mr.
So
Charlie.
imagine the scenes: Roman Reigns, Rock, and Mr. Charlie.
No, that's money. Like if I was Vince, which I'm not, I'd book that.
I can tell you now, Vince is definitely not looking at that as a big time thing.
No, maybe for Australia, maybe yeah. Maybe you're probably right. Probably like Saudi or something.
Oh, Jesus! Imagine Mr. Charlie in Saudi of all places.
Probably for Saudi. You're right there.
That's where we're going to finish this
Anyway.
story. But I guess the first place we got to start is obviously this week. RCW broke some news that the once appearing Moose is now no longer appearing.
Moose, more like a rat, huh?
Yeah. It was look, it was a bit of a shock to the system. So, but look, in the interest of transparency, we were working with an agent in the UK, and I don't know that we really ever even though he was advertised and he was advertised for a tour, I didn't see him being advertised anywhere else. And I was a little bit nervy about it, even though we had him booked through an agent. But I just, as we were saying, it like we were chatting, and in the Titan Towers that is down in the RCW building, did we fully believe that he was 100% committed, especially when he won the belt? It was like, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got the news that TNA had pulled him through some media. And I suppose we'll know for sure if he's ever around again, if he wants to come work. We'll see. Maybe it's different now because TNA are more of an entity. And when we agreed to book him, it was before Christmas, to be fair. So things do change in wrestling, and you got to roll the punches. So we hope to see him again. But CBL, being the man he is, being the general manager he is, went out and he pulled off a bit of a coup, getting Haskins and Mr. Haskins.
Which to a lot of Irish fans was a massive shock. I don't think anyone I think if you were to ask people who do you think is going to be the replacement, who's going to be, I can guarantee you not one person would have said Mark Haskins. Not one person.
Yeah, well, the way it worked out, we approached Haskins before Christmas about the show, and for one thing or the other, he didn't get back to us. And he actually confirmed he was available before Moose pulled out. So I have a graphic there I can show you that he was supposed to be in the four-way for the Rebel X Division belt, which would have been one of the best matches in history. Himself, Robbie X, fucking Danny Cross, and Fabio. Fuck me. I mean, I was horny for that one. But then when we got the news, obviously the big man there made the decision.
And obviously that was a pain in the air stay kind of for you, CPL. Owen Richards obviously coming in the doors, thinking, I've got a day off. I have nothing to do.
No days off in this business, Billy, is there?
Not at all. No days off.
No, Hassan's the big one. The first time down in Cork as well. I think a lot of Irish wrestling fans have seen and they're very familiar with Haskins. I've been watching Haskins since I was probably about 16. And he's something else, like, and he has that history in TNA as well. He's a big name in independent wrestling. I think it's a big name to bring down to Cork and bring to RCW for the first time.
We were chatting about that there before training about like going back to the prior to NXT UK, right? I would have been following Progress quite a lot back then, and I used to be blown away by Haskins, like, in fairness, and Andrews and others like him. Like,
I don't think there's many people that are like Haskins in the ring with that kind of speed, aggressive kind of
big test for all.
Yeah, it's definitely I think there's a big change for Owen Richards and the style of opponent, because you're wrestling someone who's I don't know how tall Moose is. He must be like 6'8". He's close to 300 pounds, and then you're wrestling Haskins, who's a little lad, who's going to run rapid around you. So.
Yeah, and he can go, like, he has a tank of a fucking engine, a tank. But, like, it's a different opponent. He was training for Moose, and now he's getting Haskins. So we'll see. But the thing about Irish wrestling fans know who Haskins is, right?
Yeah.
Your casual wrestling fan in Cork probably not, but they're going to remember him after February. And that's the thing. The same with Robbie X. There wasn't a lot of people in Cork knew who he was beforehand. I'm talking about the non-wrestling fans, the ones that come for the show. That we do have a lot of people who wouldn't watch wrestling normally. They come because it's a great night out and they love wrestling now. But when you bring in somebody, they wouldn't necessarily know who they are, but they remember them, and when they go away, and hence why Rio's back, hence why Gene Money keeps coming back, because the fans have gravitated to him and they know him now. So I can't wait for that. In fairness, it's gonna be a real big match, big fight feel to it. I'm looking forward to it.
I actually want to just bring that up because, like, it is kind of like that in Cork. Like, we saw Robbie X the first time, the debut of the Pav show in the World Title match. We saw Rio take on Raven Creed.
Hell of a match.
My God,
I was
brutal.
I was at ringside for that, and to be fair, that was one of the contenders for match of the night. It was brilliant. I really loved it.
Probably, I would like go for a contender of like probably match of RCW and match of the year. It was brutal between the two of them. But like,
didn't get nominated for any awards, however, on the Irish wrestling entertainment scene. But
no, boys, is at home.
You had Raven versus Reardon. I made sure that was down there. I made sure, because I was like, no one's not telling me that Raven versus Reardon was not rivalry of the year.
That was great. We discussed that on one of the previous podcasts as well. That was they left it all hang out, like, in fairness.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there was one bad match. Every match met expectations. But like, all these people that are being brought in are really getting over with, like, the RCW crowd, who, as you said, most of them aren't wrestling fans. A lot of them are. But even then, like, G Money with More Money, More Problems, that entrance alone just gets people going, oh, these guys are brilliant. Rio in the ring just, like, caught everybody by surprise. And then Robbie X has become, like, an RCW favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. Rio's was a real find, I think. I saw wrestling. I was aware of her, obviously, but, like, you can't watch every bit of wrestling that's out there, because wouldn't have the time. But I saw her over in wrestling in Barcelona when I was over with the Freshness. I was on holidays, they were wrestling, just to make it clear. I wasn't over there with them. I just happened to be in Barcelona. But she wrestled one of the lads, Jeffrey, the owner of Ilucha Barcelona. She put on a hell of a show. And she put on a hell of a show with us as well. And she'll be back again. So, good stuff there.
And how she got brought in as well. We were obviously supposed to see Raven Creed against Edgemont Martina, which unfortunately couldn't happen. But we're getting it at this show.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, that's one of those things you get to roll with the punches. I mean, Rio was booked anyway. There was another match scheduled for her. But when like, yourself, like, you need to have flexibility in wrestling. Shit's going to go happen all the time. Even Fight Factory here last year, flights were missed and delayed because of storms. You got a bunch of people, and the good thing about them, everyone's so professional and flexible that they can just slot in anywhere and put on a hell of a fucking match, But we are getting Session Mod and Raven Creed finally. I've booked that match, I'd say 3 times, if not before.
Probably about 3 different promotions as well.
yeah. Well, Felix. But there's been and there might be more promotions. We'll see. No, but like, I really can't wait to see them wrestle each other in a singles match. I was in the ring with both of them in tag team action back in the day in Dolan's. But to see them in singles wrestling finally is going to be great.
And look, if it doesn't happen this time, we all know then just don't book that match. It's a bad luck match.
Cursed. No, it'll all going well. I think both of them are in good shape and both of them are injury free. Thank knock on wood. I know Seshamat had an injury, to be fair. She was
Yes.
devastated, but she seems to have come through that and out the other side, and we're looking forward to welcoming her back to Cork.
And for people who are still kind of humming and hawing about going, there's two big matches there to go check out. One, obviously, for first time ever, Raven Creed versus Session Moth, and Katie Harvey versus Rio. That is
Yeah,
going to be brilliant.
The Rebel
Um,
X as well. I think that's the big one. I think something.
I think that's like one of the selling points. Like Robbie
Yeah,
X, Fabio, Jay,
I think
just
is it a division in itself? I think that's something that Bedlam you've
yeah,
done excellent about is like
cheers.
bringing something different into RSW because I feel like that Rebel X division, you're calling it Rebel X division, it does tie similarities to a certain division in the past and other
Oh, yeah,
places, and I think it
that's where I got the inspiration
yeah,
for it.
but I think it's living up to that kind of inspiration
yeah,
and the expectation that we left the fans there. You're like getting high octane stuff with like they seem like the likes of Martin Stairs and Fabio, Robbie X now,
Mm.
Danny Cross as well in there, like in the mix. It's I think that's something that's going to be constantly exciting on the RCW shows. I think that's going to
Yeah,
be a big one.
it is. Yeah, and I think from the concept of it, it was kind of founded watching LJ and Steersy and Fabio in our very first show. The boys just said, "Can we just go out and do everything?" And I went,
Or Bedlam.
I said, no, I said, yeah, I couldn't wait. Do you know what I mean? I was like, go ahead. So I didn't really have half hour with excitement at ringside. It was fucking unreal. And the wheels started turning slowly, and I was like, fuck it, maybe we can do this and that. But the whole thing about it is you want to keep it fresh, right? So we were chatting about that and for future cards and whatnot. You got to keep it fresh. You got to keep bringing in people, all different people all the time. I think you can't keep the same 3 or 4 people in those matches because it'd be shit and boring.
yeah.
Nobody wants to see that. Like so, Danny Cross has a good history in Cork. Good lad, great wrestler. You know what I mean? You won't not lose any quality with him. He's only going to elevate it if anything. Definitely elevated, and obviously Fabio has his work cut out there.
Yeah. I mean, like you think at the what there's been 2 matches so far, which both have been amazing. And the one thing you talked about the first time you announced it on here, was like you wanted it to be that like this is the pace to start the show, and it's just gonna get the crowd going, which it has. This somehow, just like on paper, you're like, this is gonna be the best one yet. No disrespect to the other 2 matches, they were amazing, but just you know how fast Robbie X is, you know how good Danny Cross can go, and in Fabio as well. This match is just gonna blow minds.
I still wanted to see Haskins in there as well. That
Oh.
wouldn't have, you'd be like, what's going on? But we'll see. Haskins could be the new RCW champ, so see how it goes. Anyway, yeah, no, the Rebel X division is special because we have plans for it. When not that I'm the GM anymore, but like when we're setting out our kind of plans for the year, I'm still. We know what we want from the division. We know what the fans want, hopefully, and we're going to keep it fresh and keep bringing in people in and out. And there's no one off the table. If you're at that level and you're able to go, I'll take a look.
And look,
I have to ask because you talked about it before about doing the Ultimate X match, maybe possibly the X over the ring.
Yeah,
That's still in the plans.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. 100%. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Like it'll be throughout the year, right? Like Good Fridays are probably our biggest show of the year. That's historically in Cork, that's been our biggest show, right?
Yeah.
And we're only one show out from that. Maybe it'll be in Good Friday. Maybe, who knows?
You're tapped.
I know I'm tapping. Won't tell anyone, you know. But I definitely want to do it. I think it'd be a really cool. We could definitely do it in the venue. It just takes a bit of effort to. And not that much effort, putting a few poles and a bit of fucking rope and a big red X. Surely somebody's a bit of red X there hanging around somewhere, or the belt in the middle of it. Anyway, it will be done. I guarantee you that.
and Billy Bellum's gonna be in that match himself.
No. It'll be the quickest in and out of retirement of all time. I'd sprain my ankle looking at him. Jesus. No, there's we can 100% say that I've never been in that match. That would be way levels above me.
Another match that got announced that I'm actually very much looking forward to. I think both men have had an impressive couple of months over the last like couple of weeks, months, whatever. Reardon O'Connor, Matt Skyler.
Yeah,
A very, very interesting match.
yeah. Rian O'Connor asked you for that. You can, yeah.
Reardon O'Connor, he's on a tear there down in Cork. You know, he impressed, I think, in that fatal four last month in the Rebel X division again. I think as well, I think that would have been kind of a big step up match for Reardon. I've wrestled Reardon in the past myself. I know he's a good talent, and like I think that's a big step up last month for him in that four-way. I think he showed well. You know, this could be another chance for him to pick up a win, step up a little bit more in the brand itself.
A big Chris in his corner as well. Just makes him even more dangerous.
Yeah, the equalizer. I think it's going to be a big rear for Connor, a big year for Reardon O'Connor. He is about to explode, I think.
Yeah.
You know, he's well able, he's training hard, he's working hard, putting on good matches. He wants to prove to Matt Skyler, I believe, that there's only one King of Cork. If you're hearing some noise in the background there, we're actually here in the Fight Factory. They're training in the background there. So if you hear banging on the ring, that's what that is. But I think Skyler also has something to prove, because he kind of came up before Reardon and is probably a little bit taking maybe a little bit of a backseat to him. Yeah. If I'm being really honest, in Irish wrestling in general, but definitely in Cork. And I know he might have a thing or two to say about that. So it's an interesting matchup, and it'll be styles make matches, and I think this will be a good stylistic matchup too.
And look, this would be more of a question for CBL now. Obviously, that's two massive contenders as well in the Rebel X division. The winner of that, you've got to kind of consider to go forward towards that title.
I think it'd definitely be something to consider down the line. I wouldn't say straight away. I think we've already been talking as Bedlam here has said, you know, there's Good Friday is the biggest show of the year. It's around the corner. We do have some big things planned, don't we, Betsy?
Huge.
There's some very, very big things. Some of those in relation to that Rebel X division also. Some talent that you might see competing for that. Some of which I think are going to be quite big. They're going to have a big impact on the show as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we're going to share some of that in the next few weeks.
Some more debuts.
But yeah, I think the two lads, you know, they definitely have to work their way up to get a chance at that title. But they'll definitely be, you know, in the top. So
love it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna reverse back a bit to the December Christmas show, because I have to ask for you, Billy. How was that for you? Because that was an absolutely explosive night for RCW.
I think it was one of our best shows. I came away from that show with the best feeling of any show that I ever produced. I'm not sure was it our best show ever. It's very hard to say things like that. But from a production perspective, from the way it all came together, I think that's the best I certainly have done from a production perspective. I think everything worked. The way we set up the venue better. We learned from the last time. We set up the chairs differently. We set up the crowd differently. It just looked better. The cameras were. We had issues there, but the cameras were there this time. We spent a few bob in equipment, and every time we do a show, I want to get better and better and better all the time. But I just had a real sense of achievement after that show. I think CBL coming in, being GM as well on that show while he's out injured, interim GM, kind of gave it a bit of a different feel as well. And like when you're standing in the ring singing Jingle Bells with Eric Young, you gotta kind of think to yourself, this is a fucking great old life all the same, you know.
Them roses, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I think the Pav though, I think it's quite special. I think that's something I've always loved about Cork wrestling. Is like the venues are all like the Keno, the Pav, the Circus Factory. Everywhere I'd had a look to wrestle, it's been unbelievable, cool venues that are quite intimate and stuff like that. And I think the Cork crowd are always so much fun. I think they're quite a lively crowd that are out for a night out. And I think the Pav just fits it perfect. You know, like you're in the city centre. You know, everyone's having the crack, everyone's having fun. And I do think it'll only kind of stretch more, as you kind of said, Billy. There's a lot of like casual fans that come along, and that's a big part of what makes the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I think that's just going to expand. That's going to keep going, you know.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword in one end if you have a lot of casual fans, because yes, you can build on it very easily, but you can also lose it very easily, if you know what I mean. Because you got to keep them interested all the time, and if you do too many shows, they go, should I go to the next one type of thing, you know? So it's kind of you gotta. I think we have a great base now, right? And I think we've a pretty good crowd, a stable crowd that come all the time. I suppose it's up to us now to kind of go, well, where's the next step? How can we pack the place out all the time and look to do bigger shows beyond? I mean, that's up to us as a production team and as senior people that are involved with the company like CBL and others, you know, and kind of put our heads together and go, well, how can we grow this all to make it sure that we're sustaining the path and also maybe growing it, you know? But it's a great venue. We've 6 big shows planned for this year. Maybe squeeze a 7th one in, we'll see. So yeah, it'll be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good ride.
I have to ask you there as well. You mentioned Eric Young. Like, how was it having Eric Young at the last show? And even like before the show, when he was around kind of all the wrestlers and stuff like that, having conversations. How was that?
Yeah, it was great. He did a seminar with Fight Factory here on the Thursday night, came down to us then. Great guy to have around. I was very impressed with how relaxed he was, happy he was to be sharing information with us. Wasn't just doing it for the payday, he does it for the love of the game. He's a real lover of wrestling. It was refreshing to hear him talk about that at the Fight Factory. Yeah, I mean, it was just brilliant, you know, and he was very nice to talk to, very complimentary of myself and what I'm trying to achieve. And, you know, he said he'd love to come back if he's around this area again. And he was very complimentary of everybody on the show as well. So it was brilliant having him around, to be honest with you.
And then the match then with Owen Richards was just top notch.
Yeah. I think Owen really stepped up and has stepped up last year to the plate. He gets the memo what a champ should be. Yeah. You know, he puts everything into the production. He puts everything into his own production, selling himself and the company.
I think he's one of the biggest success stories in Irish wrestling over the last few years. I've seen it grow, because if he's someone you've followed, you know, you might not be the biggest fan of him, but it's hard to deny. Like, if you look back at Owen Richards through the years, he was an Intembro, and then he got saved, you know, and him and Andy Steele, you know, they've been tearing up in places as a tag team, and I think RCW. I think it's very, very important on Richards that he's predominantly known as a tag team wrestler. He always has, but he has that World Heavyweight Championship caliber about him, and he's stepping up in huge matches in RCW, and you know, you can't really deny there's a lot there. You know, that I think shows reason why he's champion.
Now, one thing that a lot of fans are talking about, that, you know, would be for management to address. There always seems to be something with the saviors at ringside. They always seem to be butting their heads in, you know. People, you know, aren't happy that, you know, Owen can always have these people here do what they want and get the win. Is that maybe something to look into?
When Bedlam gets the old mags going up, we're going to put a shark cage on top of it. So it's just a matter of time, boys. You know, we need to go to Woody. We'll do a bit sorted. But other than that, now, you know, we're halfway there.
We're halfway there, yeah. We're halfway there. We got the plan and permission in, so, you know, I'd like this. Like, I wouldn't mess with Vicky Haskins at the next show if I was in need of one. Especially if she brings a baseball bat with swinging. You know, I mean. Yeah, look, the Saviors are smart. Like they're fucking crafty, and they do it at the right time all the time, you know. But everything swings and roundabouts, and I'm sure they'll get their comeuppance at some point, you know.
Look, as you were saying there, like Owen Richards has his hands full with that World Championship. Do you think there's a chance we might see Andy Steele go after the Rebel X title?
You wouldn't know.
Definitely, there's a possibility. I think that's another one as well. I think Andy Steele is one of those under the radar lads for a long time, because I don't think a lot of people realize how long Andy Steele's been wrestling. Because he's been wrestling in a lot of different places, coming from Emerald Wrestling and stuff like that. You know, he is really and truly one of the best in the country, and I think a lot of people would agree who's seen him and who's paid attention to him. And I think he's someone that, if given the same opportunities as Owen Richards, you know, I think he'd shine just as bright, if not brighter. But the Saviors are the Saviors. You don't know what way it'll go, what way, you know, after, you know, But I definitely think there's opportunities there, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Look, you know, with somebody the caliber of Andy Steele, he could show up anywhere and elevate any match or any card or any company. So, you know, you wait and see.
Now,
If he stops being a sneaky Russian and fucking and helping Owen Rich.
now this is going to turn into a bit of a two-part question because it is the biggest thing that came from the last show. So the first thing is obviously interim RCW General Manager CBL. How is that for you to step into that type of role? Like you've gone from being a wrestler to now you're making the decisions.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like, I think someone I've developed good camaraderie with in wrestling over the years is this man right here, Billy Bedlam. I'm very fortunate for it, you know. It's, Beds, you know, as I think you lads know, I adore wrestling down in Cork. You know, it's given me some of my best opportunities. You know, I had my very first main event match was in Cork in the Kino, the first RCW match. So RCW means a lot to me. Cork means a lot to me. You know, it always buzzing to wrestling down there, and obviously with the injury. It's not ideal. It's quite weird because it's all I've known for 6 years is like train and do shows and everything else. So it's quite a shock to the system. But I'm outrageously grateful that I'm able to keep in the bubble in quite a way and still be present with shows and stuff like that because it's something I love. So you know, being able to go out and interact with the crowd and stuff like that, even though I'm not wrestling, is quite special. Um, yeah, like it's been fun, like you know, put a
Yeah.
few bits together and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think we'll make benefit at the time and get some good things done, you know.
Well, we're lucky to have you, to be fair. I mean, we'd have you anyway in a wrestling capacity. But right now, while you're rehabbing, it's nice that we can still have you involved and at a senior level, you know. So, you know, when I was looking for somebody to in the interim to take over until we figure out who's going to do it long term, like, took the opportunity to have CBL on board with us, and we're grateful for it. So,
Some dope or see
yeah.
And obviously, like people probably like if they weren't the last 2 years, they're sitting going, "Well, why is Billy not in charge?" Mister Billy Bedlam has decided to go back into in-ring competition. This obviously is something we spoke about the first time we had you on. To hear that now, like it's in the works, it's happening. How
Yeah.
is that for you?
Just take a drink there and compose myself.
I'm PM at the moment, so I'm gonna book him into a Ultra X match.
I'm not signing that contract. I look, it's something I wanted to do. I still have a bit to do, I think, in wrestling before I finally stop, right? And coming from a place where having this time last year, literally this week last year, I was facing surgery, right? And didn't know what my future was in a lot of areas in my life. Forget about fucking wrestling for a moment. Because what I was facing was so bleak and uncomfortable and everything. It was a very tough time. Even it was obstructing my wrestling in the last couple of months as well. I was probably shouldn't have been holding a belt up in Titanic, if I'm being honest. But Armstrong did an incredible job carrying me, and I'm being honest here now. This is me being honest, because I didn't really want to wrestle. I didn't want to be there. I was nearly afraid to get into the ring at that point. You know what I mean? I was so mentally not there and scared. I didn't do him any justice, and I thank you, Butch, from the bottom of my heart, for fucking carrying me. Roll on 12 months later, got the all clear from the specialist, got the all clear from the surgeon. They're very happy with the surgery was a success, and I've been back in the gym training for quite a while. And then you start to think, okay, can I do it? Do I want to do it? You're like, okay, I definitely want to do it. No, it's can I do it? Can I physically, am I physically able to run around with the likes of him, 20 years younger than me, and do it at a level that I don't make a fool of myself or hurt myself or hurt anyone else? And then the whole, do I want to do it? So that's running around my head then for quite some time, and started doing a bit of private training, I was private training last night, training again here tonight. Titanic gave me an opportunity to kind of do an entrance in a rumble. I'm like, fuck, I absolutely love this. Then I got an opportunity to tag with Butch, which was something that I probably was doing before I was ready, because I hadn't really been training. I did a few training sessions, but I was so happy to be in the ring at that point that I knew I was making the right decision. I'm not ready. I don't think I'm ready right now. I think I will be very soon. But mentally, I'm fucking ready. Mentally, I'm ready for the challenge. Mentally, I'm ready to go through the fucking wall for this. how long I'll be doing it for, I don't care. I'm not putting any more rules in place, but I'm going to give it my best fucking shot and go as far and as long as I can. So there you go.
I'm not sure if it's a question that you kind of answer, but is there one person
my
on
brother.
your list?
Sorry, who?
Is there one person on your list that
Yeah.
you want to wrestle?
I've a load of people I want to work with. I'd love to wrestle CBL in a singles match. We got to do a small little bit together. Love to wrestle Justy. I've never worked with Justy, would you believe, in all the years that I've been around him, 10 years in it. That's just two off the top of my head. That's just two off the top of my head, so you never know. You never know. But I think no, it's not. I'm definitely not wrestling in February, but I think sooner rather than later.
And look, you're saying about like hoping that you can go with the lads. We're not pushing anything, but like if you want to find out, Rebel X Division titles there, you know.
Absolutely not. Slowly, but maybe Rebel X, if it's noughts and crosses, I could sign up for, right? Like maybe those kind of things. But other than that, definitely not. But look, I'm just happy to be fucking. I'm happy to be able to try and do something this year. A couple of matches, and I'm happy. We'll see.
And
we'll see.
One thing I want to talk about as well is obviously the partnership between RCW and Five at the moment, the IWA. Yeah. Is there any shows planned coming up for the IWA at the moment?
Yeah, we have, but it was a slow start to the year because we're both of us are kind of taking a little bit of a pause.
Rumblings. There's things.
Jesus! There's loads in the there's loads that we're talking to loads of venues. It's more. Nothing's going to happen January, February, and then loads is going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you know? So we probably have about 7 or 8 venues already just ready to go. We need to just put a calendar together, and we'll be doing them twice. So that's 14 shows, we'd say, at a minimum with IWA. Then if you're 6 with me, that's 20 already, or whatever Fight Factory do as well. I'm assuming they'll do some more and all that kind of stuff. So we're talking north. We're talking north of 30 shows that are going to be on this year between the two of us, like, you know, and so I'm very comfortable with just taking a couple of weeks out. But it's a good sign because, as I said to you before the show, I'm going buying a ring van in about an hour's time, so I'm not doing that for fucking nothing, you know.
And look, you have the show coming up on February 9th. Why should people get their asses down to Cork to RCW Respect My Authority?
Exciting night.
It's going to be an exciting night. When is this going out, actually?
What day is it? Thursday.
Saturday.
2 days.
Saturday. So one match that hasn't been announced publicly, but it'll be announced by the time this show is the tag team match, right? I think it's been announced tomorrow. So Bearded Beauties are putting their tag team belts on the line against the teams of Step Hernandez.
Oh,
Hermanos, sorry. Bad pronunciation. I hope I didn't announce it. And More Money, More Problems. So Debbie Keitel and Jay Money are teaming up to represent More Money, More Problems. So that's a 3-way dance for the RCW.
That's a great match.
Tag team champions. Yeah, it's a belt there. Yeah, I'm really excited for More Money, More Problems. I'm really excited for the tag division. We got Step Hermanos. We got the Celtic Bulldogs, who I'm sure will be back as soon as this man is healed. We've got obviously More Money, More Problems. We've got the Saviors. We've got Bearded Beauties. We've got possibly Freshness at some point coming down.
There's some surprises coming, isn't there?
There's a lot of surprises coming in that division. So, you know,
I think that many ways we can look at this show as the road to Good Friday. You know what I mean? Because I think there's going to be a lot of announcements, a lot of surprises, a lot of excitement built. I think, you know. So I think RCW is always going to deliver with being just a real fun buzz of a night out. But you're going to have some serious matches. I personally can't wait to see Owen Richards step up against Mark Haskins. I think it's going to be an incredible main event. The stuff myself, I think my match under that would be the Rebel X Division match. I think that's going to be something that's going to be unreal. I think Fabio for a long time has been one of the best in the country. And I think he's really in that Rebel X Division. I think he's just showing off, isn't he? He's really he's holding his ground. He knows he's good, and you know he it seems he's going to carry that on throughout the year. You know what I mean? It's the second time he's facing Robbie X. You know, he might have a thing or two that he's picked up from wrestling Fabio before. But then you've also Danny Cross in the mix as well. I think it's I think that's going to be a show stealer. But then again, the main event, there's so much more throughout the show. I know a lot of people are excited for Martina and Raven Creed.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of everything on this show. I think it's going to be a very, very exciting night.
And Katie Harvey and Rio, and I believe that one of the ICW or Progress belts will be on the line.
Ooh.
So, and we'll be hopefully streaming that live as well onto the on the night onto the ICW page or Progress, whichever one. So look, it's the first. Jesus, they're loud. If you can hear that,
we heard the big bang.
Yeah. So like, it's a first show of the year. Like an exclamation mark was at the Scumbag You Maggot. So it's our first. We're kicking off a brand new year. We're kicking off a brand new program. And I'm looking forward to it. It's an absolute belter, like.
And for people as well that maybe don't know who bought the Moose meet and greet, there's the pre-show hosted by Mr. Martin Armstrong and Mr. CBL as well. So
so that's also like, just because we don't want people to be out of pocket. So Uncle Billy is opening up the purse strings, and anyone that bought a meet and greet ticket will get a free T-shirt, just as a thank you and all that kind of stuff. But they will be available for sale as well on the night, and for everybody else. But the VIPs and anyone who wants to come in early, to be fair, come on away in early. We're going to have a bit of a sit down with Marion Armstrong and CBL, and we're going to interview some of the wrestlers. It's the opportunity to mix and mingle with the wrestlers, buy some merch. And I think we'll have a match as well. We'll have a special unannounced match that I'm not going to give anything away, but that'll be in the pre-show.
The one thing to go down for in all of that is the fact that it's a pre-show hosted by Marion Armstrong, and he's got a live mic. That alone is the selling point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So look, are you coming down yourselves? Will I see you in Cork?
Trying to.
Yeah.
I've got.
I know Fridays are a bollocks. It's the last Friday. Well, I say the last Friday we do, and then we've Good Friday. But I genuinely don't want to do Fridays, except for Good Friday. But when we were talking to the pub, we no choice. They had no Saturdays available. So and the last time Eric Young wasn't available on the Saturday, so that's why we just have a three Fridays in a row. But going forward, it's back to Saturdays at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whichever it is.
And for people listening as well, the next few dates coming up, obviously, be the February night show, March 29th. You're back in the PAV, June 15th.
Yeah.
You're set for
Billy Bedlam's big birthday bash too. Yeah.
So you all have to bring presents.
We're not calling the show that, but we know what it is. We know what it is.
And for people as well, they can buy the season tickets.
Yeah, so the season tickets are still for sale for another couple of weeks. There's actually been a pleasantly good uptake in them. So we're cutting that off before the February show because it doesn't make sense otherwise. But season tickets are still available. RCW tickets are still available. Very few seats are left at this point. So get yourself on down to Cork on the February 9th.
As we've already mentioned, all the matches coming up, like Richards and Haskins and stuff like that. So get your asses down. Maybe not for the Step Hermanos, but that's a different thing completely.
Step Hermanos are great.
Yeah, they are.
Good lads.
That Gallicini guy, I've got something against him. Nothing good. But I know we're running out of time here. But before, obviously, we let you go and stuff like that. Just
gotta go by that ring van.
Imagine that they're gonna have that RCW sign the side of it as well, driving around.
Hand painted by me.
Oh, you're painted.
Nice. Oh, but I'm gonna get just a can of paint and woodies and horse into it. Grand.
Let you could do one side. Let fucking Barry do the other side.
No bother.
It's not gonna look good, but you know. But before obviously we get to February 9th, is there anything else that you want to plug? Anything you want to say? This is your time to shine.
Buy some mugs from CBL, will you?
Yeah.
There'll be CBL mugs for sale on the pre-show.
There we go.
If you want a cup of tea, there's no better vocal than CBL. He's the jam in your jelly roll. He's the ham in your sandwich. Get yourself a CBL.
There we go, boys.
And also get yourself the new RCW t-shirts, right? But seriously, just come down to the show. You'll have a great night as usual, and we kick off the year in style. Hope to see the Tweed Air boys as well, as usual. We might do some media and all that kind of good stuff with you. So look, I hope to see you in Cork. Let's do it.
And as well with your CBL, I don't know if you do you still have the tea bags come with them mugs.
What we do indeed.
You get a couple of tea bags and a biscuit.
Yeah, you couldn't have it any other way, could you, Billy?
No, oh, Jesus, as long as it's Barry's tea. Otherwise, we're having a big falling
It's
out.
a month without tea.
Carmo, is there anything else that you want to add?
I think we've kind of said it all. I'm actually very excited for this show. So with the matches that have been announced and everything like that, especially the Rebel X match, as CBL said, I can't wait for it.
Yeah. Get your asses down to Cork, as we said. They're season tickets. You get one free show with that season ticket. All the dates are up on the RCW Twitter and Instagram, I believe. So go check it out. Get down. Come see Mr. Billy Bedlam. Come see the interim GM. Marion Armstrong, a whole heap of other people as well. So, lads,
everybody,
thank you so much for coming on.
No probs.
Hopefully now the van is absolutely pristine. Look, he's got his cap and everything. He's going running off now.
Can't be that pristine for $4,000, but you're going there. You go. as long as it works 10 or 15 times a year.
Carmo, I will send it over to you now.
100%. And do make sure to check out RCW social medias below this video, and obviously our own social medias below there as well. But lads, thank you for coming on. Can't wait for February 9th. But for another week, we are officially ding, ding, done.